I left your apartment a couple of weeks ago, and I left my AirPods here. What an embarrassing, intimate item to leave behind at somebody's apartment. I must ask, did you open my AirPods?
Did I?
I'm asking if you opened them.
No.
You weren't curious to see if I cleaned my ears or not?
No. I wouldn't want to open them and see it be absolutely disgusting, or I would think less of you.
I was nervous about that because if you did, you would have been like, well, yeah, I just opened them just to make sure that they were yours. That in itself was all that you needed to let me know that you think less of me forever.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Guys, what's up? Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. Giulio Gallerati, joined by Ryan Lynch. We're hanging out.
What's
Old
up?
Lynchy. How you doing, pal?
Not bad.
Feeling good? Looking good?
Doing all right. How are you?
I love it. I make really intense, sustaining eye contact with Lynch, and he can't handle it.
I know. Well, it's just you and me in here. If back in the day with Chris, there was another person I looked to for the awkward eye contact. So yeah, you can really grill me with that. How is everyone doing?
I'll help you with this, bro. Just remember, the pod reality is extended reality. So things that are normally weird are not weird in pod world. Like looking at each other for an extremely long time.
Mm-hmm.
You never have to break, bro. We got this, you and I. We're out here crushing it. We've been
Killing it.
We've been having a good time. We had a great show in Connecticut. I want to talk about that eventually. But first, I want to talk about a couple emails that you guys have sent. Welcome to all of our new listeners. I hope you've been enjoying the pod. And thank you to all of our OG listeners who've been riding with us this whole time. We love all of you. And I would say that this show, you can kind of just pick it up wherever. You know? You don't need to have any sort of historical knowledge of what's happened to enjoy it.
Yeah, but the people that have stuck around for 486 hours of the podcast, kind of like them just a little bit more. So stick around, get your tally up if you're new here.
Run your numbers up, yeah, and you can get into the inner circle.
Yeah.
I got a haircut, and I'm trying to make my hair. My hair is just kind of naturally doing stuff, which is fine. I usually like the way that it looks, but then I see it in the pod clips, and I'm like, I look like I'm disheveled, but I'm not. I'm clean, and I don't know.
Is that natural? Is that a bedhead? Did you comb that and then it just formed that way?
This is not bedhead, no. This is bathed and styled, and then, as we get closer, I'm like, ooh, do I want to get rid of these, as Hillary calls them, tweeties?
Tweeties.
And the answer is no. I like my tweeties. So, whatever.
You look natural.
All right. Whatever. Maybe
it was a compliment.
I appreciate it, Lynch. I appreciate it. Okay, so we had a good follow-up email from our pal Autumn.
Yes.
Hello, Autumn, again.
Hey, Autumn. Thanks for the email.
The legend herself. This ties into what we were talking about last week, Lynch, with sort of residual blame for things that go down. So it'll be interesting to see where we side on this one.
Well, the laptop thing?
Something similar, yeah.
Okay.
So this is how this email reads. Hey, guys, I have a quick story I thought that I would share that you all reminded me of with the broken laptop incident that Ryan went through. The nearly broken laptop.
Never broken.
Fortunately, crisis averted. She goes, as I mentioned to you guys before, when I met my husband, he was in prison for a weed charge. Bad timing, husband, for the old weed chargeroo. If you waited a few more years, you would have been good. Anyway, when he got out, he didn't have hardly anything to his name. Besides the clothes he was wearing, a pole saw. What's a pole? You're going to have to look that up. A pole saw. Assuming a saw that can saw metal, potentially. That his mom kept. And his dog that was with his mom as well. Pause so that you can look up pole saw.
That's a pole saw. So it's actually a saw.
Yeah. But what is the...
It looks like a spatula.
Oh, it's just called a pole saw because it's long?
I guess so. For... pulling, as you saw.
Pulling or pull?
Pushing and pulling.
No, not pole. Pole. Not pull.
Pull.
Pole saw. P-O-L-E.
Oh, this is a pole saw.
Yeah, sorry. Pole. It's a pole. Yeah, the pole.
It's a saw on a pole.
It's a saw on a pole? Oh, that's what a pole saw is?
That's it.
Okay.
It looks like a pole saw, except the stem is longer. Okay, so that's what he had and his dog.
We just exposed ourselves as guys who don't know about shit. Whatever. Sorry, guys. I can't. Whenever I say whatever, I think of Aya from my Iraq video because she went whatever. And anytime I say it, I'm like, that sounds familiar. Then I remember it was Aya. Shout out to Aya over in Iraq. Okay. Within the first year of him getting out, he was making a lot more money and traveling for work and doing so well for himself. Good for you, dude. Beat that record. Being in prison for a weed charge. Wild. Okay, sorry. We're getting very distracted here. This is all my fault. On one of his work trips, him and his coworkers had all of their belongings in their bags in the back of a truck. For my husband, though, the things that were in his bag were essentially all the belongings that he had to his name at that point because the trip was to be weeks long. So he had all his shit with him. This has nothing to do with the prison things. That wouldn't make sense because at this point he's successful.
He's been out.
He's been out for a while, but he's going on a 3-week work trip apparently and has most of his shit with him. I understand what she's talking about. Like if I went for a trip like that, I would have laptop, iPad, all my fucking underwear. You know,
everything. That's a long,
every pair
that's
of
a long
underwear.
time. I've never been on a trip longer than that.
I don't think going to visit Italy as a kid, but that doesn't even count as a trip. That's just like going, you know, I've never been on a trip that long. Okay.
So he has everything.
All of his shit. He's got it all.
And his pole saw.
And potentially the pole saw, it sounds like. So then she goes on to say, so of course he had acquired a lot more clothes and hygiene products and stuff like that, but everything he brought was still pretty much everything he had. I don't like where this story's going, Lynch. I don't like it.
Keep reading.
I don't like it. The guy who was driving the truck stopped at one point to get some things out of his bag and forgot to pull the tailgate of the truck back up before they left. Several miles down, they stopped again and realized that my husband's bag was nowhere to be found.
Oh.
Everything he had was gone.
No.
And the guy who left the tailgate down knew fully well, along with everyone else, that it was his fault that all of her husband's things were gone. Her husband told the guy that he needed to give him money to pay him back for his belongings, and the guy promised and apologized over and over and that he would. It ended up that the guy never gave him any sort of money or helped him with anything at all, and he had to start all the way over, all over again. Jesus, dude. We still reminisce about the band t-shirts and the things we had gotten within that first year from vacations, etc., that he will never see again. So I guess even if that guy had broken Ryan's laptop and admitted it and everything, it still could have gotten nowhere, even if Ryan would have stood up for himself about it. I don't know if that makes you feel better about it.
I think it gives me solace in knowing that someone else could experience the same thing. I feel terrible that this guy lost all of his stuff.
Well, I think the point there, though, that ties in nicely to your thing. If you guys listened to last Thursday's episode, Ryan was talking about how his laptop kind of was placed a certain way and it fell out of the back when somebody opened the back. Whose fault would it be, right? It was sort of unclear. And we also envisioned a scenario where it might be possible where the guy tried to defend himself and act like it wasn't his fault and be like, well, it was up to you to place it responsibly. You knew there was stuff in it. All fair points. But the interesting thing here is this guy owned up to it being his fault. He was supposed to have closed the thing. He didn't. By the way, I don't know how these guys didn't notice that. I guess maybe it was a pickup truck. That's probably why. That's definitely why.
I assume so.
And yeah, the guy owned up to it, but then he was never able to shake him down for the money.
Or even just how long was he on this trip for? Weeks.
3 weeks, it said.
And so how far into the trip was this? Did she disclose that?
I don't know that she disclosed that.
So like this guy doesn't have toothpaste. He has nothing.
I guess he has nothing.
He probably just had his wallet and his phone. I don't know how you could notice that you fucked somebody's life up completely, get back into the truck, apologize profusely, and then just forget or pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, or just like never.
It's just so impolite. It's just not right.
Okay, guys, what is this 3-week work trip also that's in a pickup truck and you have all of your things? This sounds like Feifel Goes West or something. They all had like a stick with a bandana tied to the end of it.
Yes.
Walking down the road. Like why? I get the like unique thing where he went to prison I guess for a while, had no stuff, got out, acquired a bunch of stuff, and then lost it all again. It's sort of like a unique situation to be in, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if you can you take him to court? Like,
where did all his stuff go, bro?
I don't know.
And fair, yeah. Like, I guess you could theoretically take that guy to small claims court.
It's just one of those things, though. Like,
I don't know if there's no contract.
It's just one of those things. Like, it could be a he said, she said. It seemed like there was a third person there, though. That there was a third person in the truck with them, so that's a witness.
Oh yeah, gosh.
So like, I mean, it's been years since, so
I don't know
if it's too late to do anything about it, but that sucks. And then she also made a point about how band T-shirts. I'm assuming that's from like a concert, like a fond memory.
Yeah.
Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Losing like those sentimental items
Agreed.
means a lot.
I'm just wondering how this guy who had a weed charge, you have to assume a weed charge, you're not in jail for that long probably, unless this guy was in there for a long time, but it's a weed charge. It's not, I mean, who knows?
Maybe he was selling. We don't know.
We need some clarification, but still, dude, it's not like, where's all of his shit? Like, you don't just go to jail for a year or two and have no more stuff. They don't take all your stuff away. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe they seize your money if you're doing something on a big scale. But it's a weed charge. I'm surprised he was even, So regardless, it's there's things about the story that are odd to me.
Yeah.
We've met Autumn. We know she checks out.
Yeah, we've met Autumn.
Autumn, we're not
lovely.
doubting you. We're just wondering if maybe you're protecting him or something. Like, like this idea of this guy just constantly having nothing his whole life is like pretty funny to me. Like,
Except his pole saw.
his pole saw and his dog. Hopefully the dog wasn't in the bag of the stuff when he went on this 3-week trip. What's he doing on this 3-week work trip in a pickup truck with 2 other dudes?
I'd go insane. I couldn't continue to work.
And bro, if you work with them too, you're gonna see them all the time.
That's very bitch energy if you just continue to do all the labor and just pretend like, oh, I didn't brush my teeth today, but I'm gonna spend 8 hours with you working on this roof, and we're just gonna not talk about it. I'm too embarrassed to ask a second time if you can reimburse me for all of my valuables or at least replacements of.
Well, let's hope that at least when he got the essentials back, the guy was like, I got you. He like paid for the toothpaste, or was like, you can use mine. He bought him a new toothbrush.
I know like essentials are gone, but the sentimental memories that they made since he got out of prison, that's what stings with me the most.
His new beginnings,
their concert, whatever they went to. There was a guy visiting my roommate freshman year of college. I had 4 direct roommates. We were in one big room. I was sleeping, and
this is when you were still enrolled.
Yes.
Not the year after.
No.
The famous year after.
No, this was in 2014. I'm in my freshman dorm. I'm laying in bed. I'm in my loft. I'm asleep, and I wake up the next morning and I open up my closet and I'm looking for my New Jersey Group 2 State Championship sweatshirt. Very custom. You can't buy it anywhere. Has my name on the back.
What sport?
Baseball.
Nice.
Has my team's name on the back and has Ramsey in New Jersey, their team's name on the back with all of the players. You can't get it anywhere else except at the game. It's gone. And so I go to my roommate and I'm like, hey, did you see my sweatshirt? I can't find it anywhere. And he had a friend over the night prior that asked him if he could borrow something, an extra layer, so they can go outside and smoke some weed. And my roommate didn't have anything to offer. And while I was sleeping, he went into my closet and he took my championship sweatshirt. He gave it to the guy.
Wow.
And he told me that, and he never said sorry. And I said, you got to get it back. And he tried calling him, and the guy didn't answer. And he was like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. He has your sweatshirt. I don't know what to tell you. Never said sorry.
Did you ever get it back?
I never got it back.
Are you still friends with this guy?
No.
Wow. Was it because, was it this, sort of an accumulation of a bunch of other things?
It was an accumulation of doing inconsiderate stuff and...
Random freshman roommate, too?
Random. Yeah. And never saying sorry, never saying my bad. I would have forgave him, even though it was a fucked up thing to do to just go into someone's sweatshirt. It's stealing. I would have forgave him if he had any sympathy, but just no remorse.
Damn, bro.
No remorse.
That's cold.
So to lose something, I relate most with the husband getting out and losing the shirt from their Coldplay concert that they went to, celebrating him getting out of jail for the first time. You're not getting that back.
I know that like people have a little bit more space and maybe it makes more sense to have like sort of knick-knack storage, but to me, take a picture of it, fucking toss it. Do you at least have a picture of the sweatshirt?
I have a picture of me wearing it.
That's good, at least. That's something.
That's whatever. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Valentine's Day is coming up, pal.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It could mean that
It's just you and me here.
a little snuggling,
Oh yeah, at home. Yeah.
not
yeah,
with
yeah,
us,
yeah.
but
Yes, with Hill.
although, we can talk. but
Okay.
some snuggling. Okay. I don't know about all the men out there, but, this is a night where you want it to go well,
It's a big deal.
theoretically, right? So wouldn't it be nice? And look, dude, there are times in life where a man will get on a cold streak when it comes to performance. You have one weird showing, you get in your head about it. Suddenly it's all you can think about and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where suddenly you just can't get it done anymore.
Yeah.
And we hate being that person, but sometimes it can be nice to get a little boost. And look, guys, sometimes your schedule will be really busy and like Valentine's Day is that one day you carve out, there's expectations around it and you want to go in there and knock it out of the park, right? So, and look, gas stations are not the way to go. Wouldn't it be nice if there was science-backed, solid supplements that you could take to give yourself a higher likelihood of being able to knock it out of the park? All natural, science-backed supplements. That's why Joy Mode's where it's at, people. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, why not perform even better? Joy Mode's sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for love making. Love making the bacon.
Crispy love.
Crispy love. Crispy love. Not only is it the only supplement you'll need in the bedroom, it also supports blood vessel support, cardiovascular heart health, athletic performance, blood pressure, and general erection function. There, we said it. The cat is out of the bag. The snake is out of the grass. And hopefully it's there for a nice love-making sesh with your special person who you want to feel even more special by piping them down.
There it is.
Had to be said. Go to usejoymode.com/oops and get 20% off with code oops at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping with code oops at usejoymode.com/oops. Great sex solved naturally. All right. Well, Ryan, you and I had a fun show together in Stamford, Connecticut, the New York Comedy Club Stamford. It was a great show. It's my second time performing there. I would say the show was probably like 15% better attended than the last time I did it. So that's good. We love to see year on year growth. And it was a great show. You kind of got the full comedy road experience to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like the local, we all drive up together. We do the show. What was that all like for you?
It was fun. I wish I took my jacket off before I got into the car. I sat in the middle. It got hot. You saved me. We were on our way, and Ricky started smoking a joint.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I'm reading through my set, and I was anxious and nervous because it was probably it was the biggest show that I've done, and I just wanted to make sure that I had all my wits about me. I don't like to drink before. I just drink a little coffee and just a lot of water. And then Ricky was he started sparking a joint, and that's fine. Everyone's got their thing. Everyone gets into their zone in different ways, but the windows were kind of closed. And I started thinking to myself, as we're sitting in traffic, where even if the window slightly is opened, we're not even going to get that much like air coming through. I was like, I'm going to get a secondhand high, and I'm going to get all loopy, and it's not going to go well for me. And then Giulio said, right as the opacity of the air was just starting to fog to a point where maybe there was a chance that no one was going to say anything and that I was going to go blind, Giulio said, Ricky, do you mind cracking the window? I don't want to get high before the show.
Yeah, I was like, you guys gotta lower the window. I get big. The back seat was looking like there was a bunch of guys banging in it. That's how
hot breath
creamy those windows started getting.
Creamy.
Gross.
No, but that was good. We got there, and the show was great. And then we went home, and we had a lot of laughs on the ride back too. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah,
dude,
I had a great time.
There's some etiquette stuff when it comes to you're on the road, you're doing a show. So theoretically, if I'm opening for someone and they're smoking a bunch of weed in a shared confined space. I am not comfortable, and I think that this is the right way to be. I'm not comfortable being like, hey, can you stop? I'm going to get high. Since it's not my show, I don't get to do that. However, since this was my show, I can be like, dude, can you open the windows? Because I'm going to get baked, and then I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do. And I was working, like getting ready to rip. And Ricky was kind enough to come to watch me and to, see if there was any things I hadn't thought of, whether it's the order or to kind of give me some tags. And that's the thing that's like common in comedy, where like if somebody's getting ready to film an hour, you'll go watch. If you think of anything, you tell them, whatever. So that was super helpful and very nice of him to come do that. So I wanted him to be able to live his best life, but I also needed to make sure that I was able to execute the performance.
Mm-hmm. I figured that there's a hierarchy of, when to make a request and when to not.
Lynch.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's funny though. But I mean, I was listening through the wall. Lynch was fucking, I don't know what the fuck he was doing up there, but he was getting some big laughs, some big chuckles. Everybody was raving to me about how they thought you did great. So
thank you. It was so much fun. It was a great time. I have to say, I couldn't find the light. And I think that's the biggest no you can do as an opener. I had 7 minutes, and then I ended up doing 10 minutes, and the light was like really, really high, and so I didn't see it. I kept looking out, and then I was looking for Josh, and then we made eye contact, and then that was kind of like the light.
Nice.
In that sense.
Awesome. Yeah. That checks.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So I would say the unwritten rules of comedy: if you are opening for somebody and you're friends with them, and they say do 7. If you do 10, it doesn't even need to be discussed. 7 and 10 are the same. You know what I mean? I'm so like, if I'm like, yeah, go do 7. And then you go do 10 and you're doing good. And like, I'm not even going to notice you did 10. If you do 15, then maybe that's a different story. But if I don't know you and you're doing my show and I say 7 and you do 10, that's annoying. Mm-hmm.
I get that.
But like, dude, it's such a short amount of time that like 7 and 10 blend nicely enough where it doesn't like affect the show.
Yeah.
So like going over the light by like a minute in general is like not a big deal unless you're on like a Piker show where it's like everybody's doing 5. Mm-hmm. When everybody's doing 5, doing 6 somehow becomes a problem. You know what I mean?
You go to jail for that.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. You go to jail. That's like fucking getting that weed charge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I feel foolish for even bringing it up.
No,
I walked out and I bumped into you. I was like, oh, I did too many minutes.
No, you didn't. No, and don't feel foolish. I'm not trying to have it be something that's embarrassing. I thought you did great. It must, I imagine to some degree, and this may or may not be true for you, but it can theoretically be an intimidating experience traveling with a bunch of comedians who are very experienced relative to your own experience. Where like, everybody in that car has been doing comedy 15 years. Ricky is a big deal in comedy. Mm-hmm. He's an HBO special directed by Judd, and like Ricky's like a big deal in comedy, bro. So it's like you're hanging with the boys. I know you just want to make sure you do stuff the right way.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
I think I was pretty chill.
Yeah, I think so too.
Think so?
Yeah.
Thanks. I thought I was being. I think one of the first things I said to Vic when I got back, I was like, I think I was pretty chill. Yeah. I didn't do too much. We had the seatbelt joke when we were in the car. Everyone was having a little laugh. Ricky and I went to Amazon. I showed him the seatbelt buckle. It cost $12 on Amazon. I gave your manager. He laughed. We had a good time. We were chilling. Nice. Josh, park.
Great. Yeah.
That's all too inside to get into. That's just what happens when you're chilling.
Maybe we'll have Josh back on to talk about the park one of these days.
But yeah, dude, it was a blast. And I had the most random group of people come out. I had an old coworker come out to the show. I had.
Did you have a big contingent?
Sorry.
Did you have a good contingent?
We met contingent.
Like I met your group after, but were there more people before who had left already?
Yeah. I think.
Oh, nice.
I think there were probably like 10 people.
That's great.
10 people, but like my old coworker, who I wouldn't even say was my friend, came, which was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And then a couple people from the PPP movement showed up. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So it was a blast, dude. It was such a thrill, such a rush.
Great.
And it's a lot of fun. So I had a blast.
Well, yeah, that's great. Thank you to the PPP people for coming out.
And it was super chill.
Ryan's Chipotle movement. Ryan was super chill. My dad even said, Big G after was like, Lynch was like, I thought he was going to be more pumped up after having a big show. He was just being chill. I was like, okay.
I just want to be chill.
Lynch in the cut, being chill.
So there was something between Victoria and Big G. I was talking to your dad for a while after, and Victoria came up and just said, "I love your shoes." And he was wearing like red boots or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Was it? And Victoria said, "I love your shoes."
They were like these Doc Martens.
Yeah.
He bought.
And she meant it. And he thought she was being sarcastic. And he was like, "You can make fun of my entire outfit except my shoes. That I take exception to." And then we just kept talking, and then Victoria was like,
he was probably also kidding, bro.
I told Vic that. I said, he's just being silly. And she's like, "I hope so."
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I have to make sure he knows that she was being sincere.
I could tell he was being silly. He was being silly with her.
Big G, man, classic. I remember the first time I did that venue, you know, I would say it was probably like a quarter full. It was probably, I don't know, 50 people or something the first time I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a weeknight. Like I felt good about it. Like I was happy with the turnout. And my dad's like, you know, you should really like book venues that reflect the amount of tickets that you plan to sell. I'm like, dude, I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I'll be sure next time to bulldoze the building in half when I find out that the tickets aren't full, that it isn't sold out. Like, dude, fucking get. And he's like, oh, no, I'm just saying.
Meant with love, so much venom.
Yeah. And how do you intend to like enact this policy, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah. Also, the green room had oat milk. Appreciate that.
They did?
Yeah.
When you drink coffee at night like that, do you have trouble falling asleep?
Yeah. I had to take a melatonin for the first time in a long time. I normally don't take melatonin. It makes me sad.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in the moment or?
The next day. I'm like super sad the next day. So I try not to take melatonin, but yeah, I had like 2 cups of coffee before the show, and I was all zoomied out when I got home, so I knew that I needed to take some melatonin, and I didn't get sad. I was just super chill.
Well, dude, so there's something funny. So I had a couple old acquaintances, friends come to the show. I guess my dad bumped into someone at Chipotle of all places.
Oh yeah.
And mentioned the show, and they said they were going to come, and they came. So great. One of the guys is a guy I knew from tennis growing up. The nicest people in the world. Great to see them. But an interesting thing arose that is worth discussing. So Ricky did, 15 or whatever, 12 minutes, like just quickly before, and then he brought me up because he's bringing me up for my special too. So like just sort of practicing what that handoff's going to look like, getting comfortable with the vibe.
Like the handshake and stuff?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it's going to be. That may not even make it onto the camera, the handoff. You know what I mean? But just for the sake of the
vibe.
The vibe. So after the show, we're all in the green room talking, and one of the people who had come, who like presumably doesn't know that much about comedy, isn't around much, is like being very, very complimentary to Ricky. And it says something like, like that was great. You never know like who's going to be out there watching, one day maybe you'll end up on TV. And no, but like Ricky made a very good point about this. He's like, while that could theoretically be annoying in that situation, if the person is just like so nice, means so well, they just don't know, like you can't be mad about it. You can't be annoyed about it. It's fine. And he could just be like, oh, well, I've and like list his fucking shit he's done, or even try to slide it in. And he like didn't even need to do that. He's like, it's fine. You know what I mean? And I think that is an interesting lesson when it comes to having shade thrown at you. How nice is the person being? How well do they mean by what they're saying? Is it worth getting upset about?
And he was being nice?
The guy this is like the nicest person on the planet, this guy who was doing this. So it's like, you just let it go. Yeah. It's fair. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's a good lesson, I think, to everybody. Like, you don't have to be sensitive if people are saying things that are indirectly rude, if they mean well, or if they don't know better. Big G will throw shade at me sometimes, and I have to like be like, Dad. And he's like, what? Don't be so. And I'm like, no, dude. No. You are being a certain way, not me. Mm-hmm. I'll let him have his fun. He'll be like, yeah, man, talking shit, man. And he'll start saying stuff he thinks is funny. Whether or not I think it's funny, I'll let him rip. Mm-hmm. And yeah. So
yeah.
Well, dude, you biked over here in the freezing cold today.
Dude, cold.
How did that end up happening? The train was fucked up?
Yeah, the subway just stalled. They're like, yeah, we're not moving. There's something going on. We're going to be here for a long time. So I started seeing people leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave up my seat and I was like, all right, we're not doing this.
Damn.
And so I got out. I got a city bike. And it was so cold. I went from 14th Street to up to wherever you are.
14th Street to up.
Up a lot. And when I parked the bike, I like had to go like, ooh.
When he came in here, he looked like a
I
guy from the new True Detective. Like someone who had frozen in the middle of Alaska. His hands were shaking. They were red. It's like Lynch was moments away from death.
It was bad. I said hi. I said hi. Your guy downstairs, John. I was like, hey, John, how's it going, man?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Yeah, go right up. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan. All right, Julio.
Good to see you. Take
Good
care.
to see you, Ryan. All right.
They're good guys. I think there's a new guy downstairs.
Oh, really?
A guy opening the door.
Oh, yeah. He was filling in for the normal guy.
Right? Yeah, you have great people downstairs.
They're good doormen to this building.
But yeah, it was freezing and to the point where making noises helped. But I was walking. I was like, ooh. That's what helped.
My darling
it's
hill
freezing
dog
out.
does that too, bro.
Yeah.
She goes, if there's extreme temperatures in either direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
So,
made it. You
was
lived to
pretty
tell the
brutal.
tale.
Yeah.
Lynch, you're getting close to the point where if you have any more train trouble, I'm going to start
I know.
questioning whether or not you're telling the truth, pal.
Oh, dude, I'm like, these sound like lies. I get you. Yeah. I'm just going to leave.
so-
I'm just going to leave like at 4 a.m. to get here.
I'm going to need footage next time, dude. All right?
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I
fucking with you.
should leave.
I'm fucking with you.
I know, but let's see real quick.
Dude, you couldn't have arrived at a better time today. In fact,
What do I know, but what did I say today? I'm running out of excuses. I said going to be there in 10:15. I'm not having good luck with subways lately.
Wah, wah.
Woe is me.
Woe is me, Lynch. Get out of here.
Yeah. I do have a question just because we're talking about your apartment.
Sure.
I left your apartment a couple of weeks ago and I left my AirPods here.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize until I was on my way home and I texted you. And I know you were leaving the next day and I said, hey, I left my AirPods. And what an embarrassing, intimate item to leave behind at somebody's apartment. I must ask, did you open my AirPods?
Did I?
I'm asking if you opened them.
No.
You weren't curious to see if I
No.
cleaned my ears or not?
No.
How'd you know that they weren't yours? Because
I don't
you
have
also
pros.
This. No? Does Hillary?
No.
Okay.
She might, but I don't think she does. Neither of us have pros. And yeah, dude, like I wouldn't want to open them and see it be absolutely disgusting, or I would like think less of you. I would never. I don't want to go down that route.
Yeah.
I don't want to search for things in that situation.
That's why I'm asking.
Do you clean out your AirPods?
I do. But
How? But what? Go ahead.
I use a toothpick, and then I will nestle a tissue on the tip of the toothpick, and I will scoop and
Ooh, that's
clean
really good,
and
actually.
polish the crevices as best as I can. Now, Victoria has the same AirPods as me, and this is why I was insecure about it, because Victoria's AirPods are consistently brand new out of the package. Every time I open them by mistake, they just look like a brand new pair of AirPods.
That's really
They're
attractive.
so clean. It's very
That's
sexy.
hot, dude.
It's very sexy.
That's hot.
Very.
Keeping your AirPods unbelievably clean is one of the most attractive things you can do.
It is.
Hot.
And my AirPods, I think they're clean, but to your point, my biggest fear was you opening them and then thinking less, because I totally would think less as well of
dude.
anybody if I open
Gross.
their AirPods. It's disgusting. It's not nice.
Not
It's
nice.
not presentable, though it's not supposed to be for everyone else to see.
Correct.
When you leave them behind, you are opening yourself up to having your entire reputation tarnished forever.
You're
And I
opening
was
yourself up to scorn.
Yeah, and so I was nervous about that, because if you did, you would have been like, well, yeah, I just opened them just to make sure that they were yours. That in itself was all that you needed to let me know that you think less of me forever. And my AirPods I keep them clean as much as possible, but they are not right out of the package. They're maybe like used and refurbished.
Well, let me say this.
Clean.
This is important. I would never judge the inner container. I would only judge the insides of the pods themselves.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, you like that?
Yeah.
So first of all, a
serious.
Q-tip is a great tool. Also, that's what I typically use. But the toothpick with the tissue is actually really nice too because it's a little sharper. I may try that. But so here's an example. My AirPods. So AirPods have this like magnetic situation for whatever reason. I think it like makes them stay in. I think there's like magnets within somewhere. So I was in Costa Rica and I went to like a beach that had sort of volcanic sand, like black sand, which is a little more like it must have some sort of like metal, some sort of metals in the sand, or something that it's attracted to the magnets, because now I have black sediment inside my AirPod case that I cannot get rid of. It cannot be extracted. I've tried. It would take me probably 2 hours to get it all. So I'm just leaving it. It's not dirt, it's sand. It's fine, but it's still there. So I know that you could find yourself in that sort of position, and like my AirPods are not dirty at all, but the case is.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some parts, especially the top lip,
The inner workings.
those crevices, you can get a toothpick in there and push in and like very intentionally scrape around the perimeter, and it's just black or whatever forever.
There's pretty much nothing that I can do. Advice: don't take your AirPods to the beach.
Yeah.
Or that could very easily happen to you,
Yeah.
especially with black sand, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for not looking.
Are you judging me now?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. No, last time I was here, when I was going through your AirPod case, it looked very clean. So there was no issue.
Mine are actually charging right over there right now.
That's what made me think of asking you. Yeah, I saw them right over there. That's hot.
Look at this. See this black?
Oh yeah, no, this isn't dirty.
That's volcanic sand, dude.
Yeah, if you did get it, I think you can get. Whoa. That's all sand.
Yeah,
Wow, dude.
sand.
Yeah.
Black sand.
Yeah, but I don't judge you for a second. That doesn't look like ear stuff.
Yeah, bro. My pods are clean as a fucking whistle. I keep them like that.
Yeah. Oh, my pods aren't on me. Whoops. I guess we can't check them. But Victoria will open up my pods and just give me this nasty look. But she also is like OCD, so like she's
Very, very, very tidy and clean.
She's very tidy.
That's
and
hot.
clean. Yeah, it is pretty hot. When she's like angry and upset, she like steams the floor.
Steams the floor.
We have a steamer.
She's angry at you. She steams the floor.
Just in general.
That's funny. The idea that like you can get something positive out of making her upset.
Our apartment is like awesome
Spotless.
all the time. And I bring the laundry down and I bring it back up, and then she folds it all because she's really good at folding.
Dude, it's wild
I'm
how
not
there
good
are
at
some
folding.
tasks that are just man tasks.
Yeah.
Hill Dog has pretty much absorbed that responsibility.
The
as
folder?
well. She's the folder.
Yeah.
I am the taker out of the trash, but she sometimes will do it because she like has a lower tolerance for it accumulating than me. But in our new place, we've already agreed like the garbage will be outside. Like I will be fully in charge of that.
Nice. Do you know what's really hot?
What?
Not only taking out the trash, but replacing the bin with a new bag when you're done.
You need to.
That.
It's child's play not to.
Yeah. That's lazy, and that's Neanderthal-y
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
lazy boyfriendy or fiancé-y.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
Lazy boy behavior. Shout out to Drake's giant penis.
yeah, did you guys see that? I had to connect to the airplane Wi-Fi just because I needed to see it. Drake is very well endowed. Good for him, dude.
Hilarious, bro.
There was somebody on my plane today that wouldn't stop tooting.
How would you know?
It was just
You could
constant.
smell
It
it?
was constant toots the whole
You could
flight.
hear it or smell it.
Smell, just puffy toots. And I don't like crude stuff, but it really bothered me because that's just not cool.
Not cool.
It's just so not cool.
I wonder why people do that. Do you think they can't? Like sometimes like the plane will fuck up your sense of smell. Do you think people think that nobody smells it?
No, I just think they're insane. There's insane people. There's insane people, and if maybe they were by themselves, I'd have to assume that they weren't traveling with anybody, because you're sitting next to your partner and you're starting to puff toots. No,
Bro, by the way that I just said that made it sound like I'm wondering because I do this. I do not do that, by the way.
that's okay. And that's fine. But it was like 6 a.m. and just constant,
Yeah. It's gross in such close proximity to other people to be doing that.
It's just not right.
What airline did you fly on?
Delta.
Yuck.
Yeah. Just really not cool. But there's nothing, it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. And you can't you get away with it. Like, good for you. I hope you feel good about yourself.
How early was your flight?
I had a 7 a.m. takeoff.
Were you able to like go to bed? Are you like tired right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
I went to bed around midnight, got up at 4.
Wow.
I'm okay.
Damn.
I'm okay. I'll crash later.
When you go to the airport there, do you guys have a car? Does somebody bring you? Like
My dad.
Nice.
My dad just doesn't sleep.
Really?
Yeah. And then my mom and my brother had separate flights into Newark. My flight took off at like 7. Their flight took off at just before 9. And they live about 20 minutes away from the airport. So we got up at 4:30. My dad drove me and Victoria to the airport. Then he came back and then drove my mom and my brother back to the airport because there was just a little
Shuttle
too much
service.
time in between. Yeah, he's very generous. He always drives us everywhere. So love my dad.
That's great.
But yeah.
So that brings up an interesting thing that I was thinking about, and this is good for everybody. So somebody DM'd, or maybe emailed, and somebody emailed as well, and I want to talk about it on the next episode. But somebody had mentioned what their flight total was at, and how how Francis and I used to sort of have the competition. It might be fun to open it up to a pod-wide competition, and whoever the winner is gets some sort of prize that we have not yet decided on. But if you can substantiate your flight log and prove to us that you've taken X amount of flights, the winner will be awarded something. So this will be a fun thing to do. So feel free to submit your progress as time goes on through the year, and we can start tallying them up. I'm ripping it so far this year.
What are you at?
After this weekend, I'm going to be at 10.
So you're pacing.
I'm pacing for like
just under 120 flights.
There's no way I'm going to keep up this pace because I've been flying every single week.
It's a lot of flying.
There's no possible way I'm going to keep it up, but I could break my record. I forget what it was, but it was like 50 something, right?
I think 50.
Was
somewhere
it 50
between
on the nose?
I think it was more than 50. I think it was like 53.
Okay, I got to
don't know
check.
Here, I'll do one better. If there's enough interest on this, I'll make an Excel doc.
Oh, that's
and
fine.
if you want to participate, I feel like anybody that's willing to participate in this is also the same kind of person that'd be willing to open up a Google Sheet once a week or whenever they're flying. Input that. We'll keep track of it that way. And yeah, we'll figure something out to award the guy or gal in the sky of 2024.
Yeah, we had some beast mode numbers that people sent in last year and the year before that are more than I've ever come close to getting. Like people in the 70s, the 80s, like people flying like monsters. But yeah, get out there, travel, do some fun shit, and report back and let us know how it's going. I know that every time I walk through that A terminal in Delta, Terminal 4 at JFK, bro, I know I've said this before, but like seeing those long haul international flights ready to rip, I love wondering what everybody's up to. It'll be a Tuesday night at 10 p.m., about to fly to Singapore. It's the longest direct flight in the world, New York, JFK to Singapore. And I'm like, are they going for business? Are they going home? What are they doing? Why are they going? What are they up to? That Tel Aviv flight, there's like back to back to back to back. It'll be like Hong Kong, Taipei, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, like all these
these gates that you're walking by as you're leaving.
The A gates. And another secret, the best Delta lounge I've ever been to is the A gates of Terminal 4 in JFK. Unless you're flying on one of these like international flights, and a serious long haul one, it's usually like a lot of those kind of flights. You probably won't end up in there. And for me, if I'm there, I'm usually flying domestically. So all those flights are in B. So I've only been to that Delta lounge, and it's nice. But the A one is primo. It's like the best lounge I've ever been to, along with, in my opinion, the Centurion Lounge in JFK. Just for anybody who's thinking about lounges. The JFK Centurion Lounge isn't good at first glance, but there are two things about it that make it special. The first, it has an Equinox partnership, so there's leg and hip compression services.
I've seen those.
And massages. Like you can go and like you really chill and relax and decompress, which really helps for a flight, especially for our boy Josh, who just goes through pain when the pressure of the cabin changes. And then there's there's a full bar, no, but not like a bar, like a speakeasy style nightclub cocktail bar in the back of the Centurion Lounge with like a dude wearing a bow tie and long spoons and like making fucking real cocktails. So that to me are like those little touches is what make one better than the other. So
Are those included, those drinks?
yeah.
Really?
Some places they're not, and it just kind of depends. Like some of them like are getting cheap, and they'll be like, I never usually drink at the lounge anyway. But it'll be like certain drinks are covered, but then the rest you have to pay for extra for or whatever, I think. But I'm rarely drinking in the lounge.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok of that lounge. Someone walking through it. It looks really nice.
Oh yeah. It's
You
cool.
did the compression stuff recently, right?
I did it at the airport.
Yeah. What is that? Does it feel like the same thing that the doctors put around your arm when they're like?
No,
I
it
can't
feels
even complete
like
the sentence. I don't even know what this is. Just when the pressure,
the blood
pumps
pressure
up.
thing.
Yeah.
So no, there are similarities to it, but the idea of it is it's like like the tension is focused at relief of tension. So it's like it's almost like a massage. So it's like squeezes you and it just feels really good. It feels really like cozy and good and it'll like pressurize and then deflate. And then pressurize again. And it just feels like if somebody was squeezing your thigh and it felt amazing, it's that. And it's aimed at sort of like doing what a foam roller would do, you know, where it's like loosening all your muscles and just making you feel fucking great. It's a good recovery tool also if you're
Sounds nice.
ripping the treadmill or whatever.
That sounds really nice.
I'll say this, dude. I mean, I kind of just look the same as I have, but like I've been trying to be healthy in general, not just to try to look as good as I can physically when I tape my special, but also to feel clear and good. And like my brain, like if I eat healthy and I'm being healthy, like my brain works better, which gives me less anxiety. I think I maybe am a bit of an anxious person, I'm realizing, even though I don't necessarily seem like it. And if I could take the necessary measures to not be, then I'm not, which feels really good, you know? So that's all to say. Once I film on that Friday, I look forward to having a really fun weekend for the first time in a while. Some binge drinking, which I haven't done in a while.
Months? Are we talking months?
I had 3 drinks one time this year. That was the only time. Other than that, I've had one once or twice the entire year. So like barely drinking, basically not drinking. So looking forward to ripping some mezcal Negronis with the boys, some lime shards, doing it.
Sounds good, dude.
Some deep dish pizza, perhaps. Having a bit of a debaucherous weekend. And also just thinking about some of the places where I like to go to drink here. Like my buddy owns a hotel and it has a really nice restaurant in it, and they make amazing cocktails. And like one of our things we do sometimes is we'll go and we'll rip it and we'll like have a few drinks, have a sick meal. Like it's the best. And like I want to do that. Like I'm craving that a bit. And I'm excited to, the one thing that's nice about this too is like I'm preparing all this material, right, to like shoot it and get rid of it eventually. So like in the near term, I won't get rid of all of it. Like the stuff that I really like or that I think is the strongest, like I'll keep while I'm thinking of new stuff. So like if you were to see me on the road in Albany or Syracuse or in some of these places, like the set will still be polished, but it won't be all the material from the special. It'll be like probably half and half, like stuff I'm trying to work back in and stuff that's going to be in the special. But I'm looking forward to the special coming out and then never doing any of it again. That's going to be cool.
Are you going to miss it?
No.
No, you're like over it?
No, I'm not over it. It's just, it's fun to like be done with something, to work on something and finish it. You know, all these years I've been doing this and like, sure, I retired my Netflix set, which you guys have probably seen, hopefully, if you're supportive. Go watch it for fuck's sake. It's on Netflix. You search my name, it'll pop up. It's in the Pete and Friends video, Pete and Friends special. So anyway, you know, it was a short set, but I burned all those jokes, which was nice. Move on. Never think about it again. What a great thing, you know. Sometimes people will keep that stuff and put it in something else still, but I don't want to do that.
Not Julia.
Not me.
Not Julia.
It's done. And yeah, it's like I finished, great. And then my brain can like move on to the next thing instead of like having all this floating ongoing work to do. You know what I mean? I've become interested in like trying to make my brain work the right way. And it does involve some trickery, I'm sure, for all of us. And I doubt I'm unique. I'm learning more what works for me and what doesn't. So
have you been able to work on any like procrastination
Techniques.
I know you mentioned that in the past.
It hasn't been as much of a problem for me lately because I've just been so healthy.
Gotta keep healthy.
If
then.
you're never hungover and you're eating a good amount, like a healthy amount, and you're not like going too hard, like, and I don't mean like going too hard, like partying. It's not like I'm like a party animal, but like if you're treating yourself well, your days will feel much better. So I'm feel like I'm much more able to sort of do the things that I intend to do. And it's also nice right now too, because I have a specific thing that I'm working on. And while I kind of like to sort of finish everything I have to do, I like treat everything in my life with equal priority when it comes to like tasks, whether it's like errands, appointments, like upkeep, like it feels as important to me as work. And that's not me saying that I don't do the work, but like it just feels like I always have so many things to do because of that. Mm-hmm. So it's like good and bad. I get a lot done, but also feel like I have a lot of things to get done that other people wouldn't prioritize. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But right now I'm like hyper focused on being in special mode. So I'm just kind of like spending most of my days leading up to that. We're working on things that involve the special.
We got 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks.
Well, when this comes out, and by the way, come see me in Lynch tonight, at Union Hall in Brooklyn, 10 p.m. It's gonna be the last time I run the special before we film. That's going to be sweet.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Just come check that out.
Yeah, and send us more emails. We've gotten some really good ones recently. Were you going to plug more shows?
No, I was just gonna, well, like no, but I was thinking about the timeline of when we're recording this when it comes out. So yeah, the special is this weekend. So there may be a couple tickets left, maybe, but there may not be also. So hopefully not at this point. But if there are, grab them because it means there's only a couple left, and it's gonna be a really fun.
Yeah, we're pumped. I've never been to Chicago, so I'm excited to come.
Pumped to have you there. I hope you join for all the festivities, man. We're doing a bunch of stuff.
We'll be there.
Cool.
So yeah, send us emails. Any stories? Did somebody steal something of yours and you didn't have the tenacity to say something about it? Let us know. Email us at oopsthepodcast@gmail.com.
Send us your flight logs.
Let us know if you guys are interested in that. We'll post a poll. If there's enough intrigue, we'll post a sheet and get that going. Check out Giulio at Not Julio. Myself at Ryan is Really Polite. And we'll see you guys later. I love you.
Bye-bye.